Is this working? Yes, perfect. My name is Michel Mirota. I'm with the National Research Council Industrial Research Assistance Program. This is not a question, but just a comment. I believe that IRAP can assist you. We have a new program called DTAP, or a Digital Technology Adoption Pilot Project. En français, c'est le PATN. We provide assistance for integrating any type of technology, digital technology that's already off the shelf. We can provide funding for the adoption. We won't pay for the actual technology, but we do have those funds available. So I just thought that you should be aware of this.
Thank you very much. Merci. Ça, c'est une concrète façon de partager les renseignements et d'encourager des partenariats. I think what we'll certainly do is we'll connect with you and not only explore but provide some of those links on our website. And I know that I see Anne writing as well that she'll likely do the same thing. Merci. A very kind offer.
Thank you very much.
Elliot Maklovich, pourriez-vous, could you clarify what you said about the contract awarded to Google for the Canadian government portal? Has Google been awarded, you mentioned Google Translate and not Google the search engine.
Google the search engine, I wanted to be very clear, the search engine is what the Government of Canada has just put a request for proposal out. So that's the search that allows all Government of Canada websites to be easily searched. With that obviously comes Google Translate, and which people are using now. And I think what we need to understand is a little bit how that will come into play in terms of the overall translation and search, how the two come together.
Since most government sites are available in both official languages, one wonders what the use of Google Translate will be in that context. I couldn't see.
Mais les gens utilisent Google Translate maintenant, pas seulement au gouvernement, mais à l'extérieur. Et pour nous, on a commencé des discussions avec notre Conseil des Trésors, avec les politiques de communication. We're having discussions, early discussions with our Treasury Board colleagues who are responsible for the Government of Canada communications policy, and we strongly believe that we need to have a policy and a directive in terms of how translation should be done and the uses and the appropriate uses of translation machinery and technology. We absolutely believe, and we want to encourage a culture where people use translators in terms of validating the quality of information. And I think that has to be a key instinct. We've started to see in terms of some of our business work coming in where we are being asked to review machine translation. Now, at first, this was very alarming to say, is our profession going to be that of editing and reviewing machine translation? But I am quite encouraged by the fact that at least that there is that reflex that people feel that they need to come and they need to have documents reviewed. I'm not saying that Google Translate will become the Government of Canada's translation mechanism, but I'm just signaling the fact that Google, the search engine, is now becoming part of that infrastructure of search. And we need to be responsive and I think a little proactive in terms of how we help shape the appropriate use of machine translation. Merci.
Thank you for that clarification.
Merci.
Bonjour, c'est Asafa Farzinder de NLP Technology. J'ai une question concernant la sécurité quand vous mentionnez que les gens peuvent utiliser les Google Translate par exemple, parce que vous avez mentionné qu'il y a beaucoup de niveaux de sécurité au niveau de secret et top secret. Donc, et quand les gens utilisent les Google Translate, donc les documents sont hors de contrôle. Ça, comment vous faites la gestion de cet aspect-là?
Encore, il faut qu'on commence pas seulement en dialogue, mais d'être plus proactif au sujet de comment est-ce qu'on peut utiliser Google Translate ou n'importe quelle recherche ou mode de traduction. I think we need to sensitize people in terms of what happens when you actually take text and put it into a public translation process and what that means in terms of loss of information, loss of intellectual property, and risk. I think it's not just a matter of having a big warning that says, please use professional translators. I think part of that is sensitizing people to what happens to information and what happens to data. And I feel that certainly working in collaboration with our colleagues at the National Research Council, we've been doing a lot of work with exploring what the uses are and the appropriate uses of machine translation are. But I think it requires an education and sensitization.
Do you have any plan for such a workshops for the users?
At some point, we will be looking at how we use technology in our processing of our work, and I think that this is a topic that will eventually have to come into play, and it's an example of really where I think we need to bring together not only people from the translation and the linguistic industry, but I think also some people from the technology side of the world. And I think here is a really, really good example of where the linguistic expertise can come to play to influence how we start using these tools, and I think to educate as well. So I think that is a really concrete example of where the partnership has to be. Thank you for the question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to end here and say that we look forward to having a continuing dialogue. I know that today's session is bringing together a lot of interesting topics. It's a dialogue that we have to continue, and certainly technology is one aspect, procurement is another, but certainly collaboration and working together. So merci beaucoup. Merci Anne et collègues.